Lest anyone thinks that when Rear Admiral John P. Polowachik says, I'm just here to help that supply chain. I'm not here to disrupt the supply chain. When I take the air bridge and go grab the personal protection equipment and the ventilators that we need in this country to save lives, and I grab them with U.S. military personnel all around the world, and I bring them back here, and then I deliver them to half a dozen distributors who then can start an auction to sell this stuff either to hospitals in the United States, or they could sell it overseas if they want. That's what's been happening. They've been selling this stuff overseas. That's the abnormal behavior he talks about. The whole thing is abnormal. Here is Lieutenant General U.S. Army Russell T. Honore. I can't remember how to pronounce his last name, but I remember this guy, and you might remember him too. During Katrina, he was sent down with the Army to coordinate essentially the distribution of supplies to everybody. And he is being interviewed by David Bignode from CBS News. And this guy can't believe what he's hearing. This is him responding to what he heard by that Navy admiral. And this has basically been his life's work. Keep playing this until we get to, I'll tell you when to cut.
That system worked before. There's a lot of things I haven't seen before. But we got a pretty well-established procurement system in the United States government, starting with the GESA, who buys most of the stuff for the government. Then inside the Department of Defense, we have the Defense Logistics Agency, which was not used. And they put together this task force with a group of people who literally, when they showed up, they had to exchange business cards so they got to know each other in the middle of a disaster. And now we find out that they are facilitating the air bridge, which is a throwback to the saving the people in Berlin, the air bridge. But the air bridge is bringing stuff and giving to companies to sell to states and hospitals. I've never heard that supply chain before in my life. It has looked like they have let the literal wolf inside the hen house. We would not let contractors in my headquarters to see what RFPs. Normally this would go out in the form of a request for a proposal. But it sounds like they're making these decisions in cooperation with contractors inside of government headquarters. We don't operate that way. It's totally non-doctrinal. But some will say, well, we've never had a virus like this before. Well, we fought 2 world wars with this system. We fought Vietnam, we fought Desert Storm. We've done a lot of things with that supply system. And by and large, it worked. What they've put together is something I've never heard of before. And there's a lot of things that happen. Maybe I'm just ignorant about it. But it sounds, and I would encourage the president, is there something not right about this? And looking at this thing in the rearview mirror, this is going to turn out real bad because we're not getting the effect. It'd be one thing if it was working and the hospital said, we're getting this stuff. And the state said they were getting this stuff. And the governor of Louisiana said, we're getting this stuff. They said, okay, they came up with a new technique. We'll see 6 months from now if anybody go to jail. The first thing happened after every disaster is that the government start through reports, it's called disaster capitalism, and see who went in and got a contract they shouldn't have got. You remember
what is the usual
All right,
supply?
That's it. That's good. And people can go and check out that the rest of that interview. But there's the gist. People are going to go to jail, or they certainly should. That's why right now in the House, they should start opening investigations about this now. If they're worried about the way it looks politically, then they don't call people up to testify quite yet, but they start doing depositions. They start doing it behind closed doors. So the word gets out. You got to stop this. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what is going on right now with our government. It's just unbelievable. All right. Lastly, let's just do this. Benjamin can wait for just another